I'd like to introduce you to the design with which we'll be working throughout the rest of the title, through all the other videos, all the exercises, and so on. This is basically the end result. What you'll see in a lot of cases is an exercise file where some portion of the style has been turned off, and then we'll fill it back in, and that's how the exercise will be done. But this is overall what we'll be looking at. You have, of course, all the fonts and colors, which are set through CSS, the background of the masthead, the background of the nav links, and the sidebars, and the whole background, and setting fonts as well. There's the fact of the overall layout, the fact that we have two columns side by side. That's something else that will be addressed through the CSS. As you might notice here, we have navigation links, and this is actually an ordered list. It is a list of links that have been made into a horizontal nav bar through the power of CSS. And we'll talk about that. The other interesting thing is that these vertical separators here are not actually part of the document source. That's another stylistic effect that we'll discuss when we get there. Similarly, this green separator underneath the legendary origins of T, that you might see that, and if you've been doing HTML for a while, you might think of a horizontal rule. But again, that's not a horizontal rule. That's simply a style applied to the legendary origins of T heading. There's also aspects such as aligning text, such as putting the July 16th, 2006 over to one side that we'll discuss, and how this image sits off to one side and has the text flow around it. That's something else that we'll want to pay attention to before we're done. We also have these boxes, as it were, in the sidebar, these separate boxes, each of which has its own title. And here's a table down here. If we scroll down a bit, this post archive is actually a table that's been styled, and talk about that in one of the later chapters. In addition, we have this nice, lovely footer across the bottom, and we'll also, in one of the last chapters, talk about how to have this same document appear completely different when it's printed, so that when it's printed out, it doesn't look like it does here on screen. Instead, it has a set of print styles applied to it. So those are at least the high points of things that we'll be talking about in the rest of the videos here, and things we'll be addressing as the exercises are done.